Hi, I'm Brent Haynes with Wood Sound Flutes, and I'm just delighted to have this opportunity to present this video at the World Flute Society Convention 2021 virtual convention. I'm holding in my hands the flute that will be raffled for the convention. This flute is a mid F sharp cherry flute with redwood burl trim on it. It has a little bit of turquoise in it. It has our Monument Valley totem on it with the right and left mittens, and is a really, really lovely instrument. This instrument actually was originally made for Jeff Ball. Jeff recently sent me some flutes that he was no longer using, but that he had used on recordings and in performances, and all the work that he was doing with music. This particular flute I know was recorded on the Live from the Edge album. If you haven't heard that album, it's a fabulous album. I absolutely love the Amazing Grace on that album, and I think this might be the flute that actually played that song Amazing Grace on the Live from the Edge album. And Jeff, thank you so much for the opportunity to offer some of these flutes that you have used in your work to some of our clients. I know they are greatly appreciative of it. It's been a wonderful thing. So I'll go ahead and play a little something for you on this flute. Gorgeous sounding instrument. I'm so excited for one of you to be able to have the opportunity to win this instrument, and in your efforts to have that opportunity, also support the World Flute Society. The World Flute Society is Kathleen's work. Kathleen Joyce Grendall has just done a wonderful service to our community, to our native flute community, and I'm very grateful for all of the efforts that she makes to help each of us have a better experience as we walk our journey with the native flute. The rest of this video, we're going to talk a little bit about wood sounds. How we make flutes is probably not the same as how other people make flutes. Not that one way is better than another, but the way that we make them is always done with the intent of, number one, creating an instrument that has the right feelings as we're creating it. For example, I recently made some changes in how we manage flutes in our shop, in terms of how we manage the flow of production in the shop. And we needed to increase a sense of urgency within the guys as they were working, yet I don't want any kind of feeling of franticness or panic. The urgency should be honest urgency coming from the right place, with the intent to create the most beautiful instruments that we can while maintaining quality. And that really is my ultimate goal, is to be able to provide you with instruments that are gonna last lifetimes. Not just your lifetime, not just your kids' lifetimes, but my hope is they last much, much longer than that, and that the instruments continue to provide value and blessing to people as they go through this life and have the experiences that they have.
Hi, I'm Josh from Wood Sounds and shop manager. I get a lot of questions like, how the flutes are made. And honestly, it's kind of a long answer because it comes in so many processes. We just don't, make it wham bam. It takes a long time. Every flute is thought out, and here this is kind of where it all begins. Is before we ever make a flute, we first put it in our system. It has everything, like I said, that we need to know. We call this our traveler, and the reason why we call it traveler is because it has it kind of follows all the processes that we do here in the shop, and this is where it all begins. So this tells us what kind of wood that we need, and so we go over to our wall of wood, or what we like to call it, the wow, and we find the wood that we need. So sometimes it comes in the big billets like this. We have to cut it to size, and then once we cut it to size, we put it here on our CNC, and our CNC is programmed to make it look like this. This is a grab point to put into our lathe. This is going to be the end of the flute, or the end cap would be right here, and on this side is where the mouthpiece would be, and the shoulders over here. So the lathe will grab it here, and then we're able to bore it. So that's where that's kind of where we begin. That's the whole process. This is I guess the beginning of the process. We call this the blank prep, and this is one of the first starting points of making the flute. Alright, so now we got this end cap glued in there, and now we're gonna go through the boring process. It's really not that boring, but I enjoy it.
So what Josh is putting that blank into is called a spindle on the lathe, and the spindle goes all the way through the head of the lathe there, and the round area, as Josh said earlier, allows us to grip it with the 3-jaw chuck.
Hello, my name is Ty Allison, and one of the things I do here, probably the most important things I do here at Wood Sounds, is I tune and voice all of the flutes that come through the shop. In fact, I like to call myself the intonation manager. But also another thing that I do is I make all the totems, or help make all the totems for all the flutes. And one tool that we use to do all that is our laser machine. We start off with a line drawing. Like you can see right here, this is our totem for our latest flute of the month. It's the buffalo calf. We use this line drawing, in this instance, a line drawing that Brent made. We transfer it onto the computer and put it into our laser program. That program creates a line drawing in whatever material we want to use. In this case, it's our white buffalo turquoise material. And when the laser creates that drawing lasers the drawing onto the material, we're able to take it to our bandsaw and cut it out. And that's how we start off a totem. And then we go to here, our carving table, and carve and make our totems. We take that two-dimensional line drawing and create it into a three-dimensional piece of art.
You notice as Ty's carving, the smoke from the ironwood is blowing away from him. That's because there's a little air nozzle down there that blows the dust and smoke out of his face, so he's not breathing that. What are you carving, Ty?
What I'm carving is our soaring eagle totem. This totem's made out of ironwood, like Brent mentioned. And it's made out of 6 pieces, 6 different pieces of ironwood that we have to join together and carve. And so, of course, we use the laser to mark out everything and cut it out. But yeah, that's what I'm working on right now. Just getting the body done so that I can move on to the wings and eventually attach it all together. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is I'm voicing a flute. These are just some of the little files that we use, the file rasps that we use for voicing. All of these that you see, serve purposes in getting the flute to sound the way, the way we want it to sound.
Let's see the backsides of them.
Yeah.
So each of these rasps is modified from the original, so that it'll reach into the voice box the way we need it to, and not mess up any other part of the voice.
Alright, so we have 15 different surfaces inside the voice box of the flute that we need to manipulate in order to get that sound, that wood sound. And so with each file, each rasp, we need to manipulate one of those edges, and each of them has a name. And so if Brent or I are experiencing like a problem, or the flute doesn't sound great, we can say manipulate this this edge, for example. We need to take more off lambda, alpha, or we need to fix mu. And so I know exactly which surface that is that needs to be manipulated, and I can go back and fix that, or we can fix that in the future. And so having those names is extremely helpful, and it just makes voicing and fixing voices a lot easier.
In 2009, I did cross-sectional diagrams of the voice box area and named those surfaces. When we did that, it made an incredible difference in our understanding of what different changes do to the sound of the instrument and to the performance of the instrument. Now, as Ty's finishing that up, you can see behind him, this is our Peterson strobe tuner. Kind of looks funny on the video because it's strobing away, but that's the unit that we use for tuning the flutes. And above that is a pressure meter that will display the breath pressure that's being applied to the flute as we're tuning it. Whether you're dreaming of your first native flute or wanting to create some custom instrument, Wood Sounds is where your dreams can be made real. My name is Brent Haynes, and you can reach me at 801-822-1415 or brent@woodsounds.com. Have a great day.